Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. The day is finally here. Season 36, War number 12. We're taking on TVA, final war of the season. I'm happy for this season to be over, but I have to say I've had a ton of fun this season in Alliance War. So more to come on that. Today's team is going to be Anti-Venom, APOC, and Nebula, keeping with the theme of taking in a different team for every war this season. First up, we have a Kingpin on Node 13. This is Masochism over time. This is an easy fight for APOC. Going to go ahead and boost up for the rest of the path here. So APOC, of course, counters Kingpin's Purify mechanic, and he counters Masochism in general. So the only real problem that you might face in this fight is the combat power rate, which increases by 5% on Kingpin for every debuff. And since he can't dump his rage stacks, the combat power rate is really never going to lower. So you can see that I'm focusing mostly on using heavies here, and that's because the bleeds are guaranteed to stick. I'm going to be doing the most damage possible while giving Kingpin the least amount of power possible. It's going to be less power than a full 5-hit combo. Going to toss that special one there, apply the poison. Again, we want to focus on the damage over time first, and then just keep those debuffs refreshed with the heavy. I'm also doing a conscious effort to not push him too close to the special 2, and that's because just in case I take like a full combo, I don't want to push him to that special 2 and have to wait out the unstoppable. That would be very unfortunate. No need to go back to the special 2 for the degen here because he's almost dead, so we just applied the weakness from the SP1. Again, keeping these debuffs refreshed with the heavy attack, and I think one more heavy does the trick here. Easy fight again for APOC. My go-to for mostly any Kingpin fight. So, alright, next up we have an APOC on Node 24, EMP mod, Bubble Shield, Burden of Might. I actually wasn't scheduled to take this fight, however I did have Nebula on the team and she is a fantastic counter, so I decided to go in. So we won't have access to our special 2 in this fight because of Burden of Might, so we will not be able to double up the shocks once we parry and apply all 20 from the amp charges. However, you're going to see in a minute that EMP mod has a really nifty interaction with Nebula and her amp charges. So we're playing very conservative here, just holding block, building up as many charges, trying not to get backed up into the corner. So you can see I'm tapping his block as much as possible, getting a couple hits in when I can. So what's going to end up happening here is once I apply my 20 shocks with a parry, he's going to fire off a special 2, and because EMP mod is attempting to place shocks on Nebula, who is shock immune, it's actually going to completely refill her amp charges and set her up for another damage cycle. So there we go, we parried, we applied the shock, some decent damage there. Going to bait out this special 2, and you can see we've already up at 20 amp charges again, set up for another damage cycle. I make a big mistake here because I'm seeing my bubble shield charges are at 9. I mistimed the special 1. And then I'd go for a parry, but the reparry is unblockable, and I take a second hit here. Alright, we're set up for another parry here to apply the second set of 20 shock debuffs. There we go, and now we just have to patiently wait for him to die from them. So Nebula, absolutely fantastic option for most fights on Node 24. Alright, moving up into Section 2, we have an I-Hulk on Node 30. Going to go in here with APOC again. I'm going to replace that boost with a power boost here. So again, I think I took this fight in a previous war, and I'm going to speed up the fight here because it's a lot of heavies and whatnot. So the goal here is to get the concussion up with the SP2. That's probably the most important part, other than keeping him heal blocked. I do a kind of poor job, as you can kind of see here, with good time up on the heal block. But it kind of pays off at the end, as you'll see. So you can also see that we are giving him quite a bit of gamma, and as a result, when he gets down to almost dead, he's going to be well above the threshold for immortality. But we do have the concussion applied, so my plan here, as I'm seeing the gamma go over 20, is I'm going to try and finish him off with the special 3 and hope that the special 3 kills him outright with the concussion active, as I don't think the concussion gets refreshed until after the special 3 continues. So we have a 35% chance to prevent the immortality, and that's apparently all I needed because that kills him outright. Moving on, we have a Sassy on Node 40. I could have gone in here with Anti-Venom. I don't actually end up using Anti-Venom in this war. I just felt like I was in an APOC mood, I guess. I don't really know. There's really no reason to use one or the other. They're both solid options for this fight. Anti-Venom will have the heal block up for pretty much the whole fight. I think APOC's damage is better, which is probably why I went for him here. So, all right, so with APOC, the concussion can it won't stop Sasquatch from gaining the stacks of rage, but it does reduce the chance that each rage stack triggers Wrath of Tanarak, and that doesn't come into it doesn't come into play here, but it's just something to be aware of. Took that special one on the block. That really sucked. I don't know what happened there. I think I was just early or late or whatever. So we're just trying to wait out here, getting a good opportunity to come back in. And then here we go. We're going to apply the concussion. So we've got the poison and the concussion up, but again, I think the concussion is more important here. As long as we can keep him heal block, the poison's not really going to do much. And we definitely want to avoid him regenning a bunch at the end of the fight here when his health drops below a certain threshold. Trying to bait out that special too. I can see that these stacks are already at 5, so he is in danger of triggering Wrath, which he does. Thankfully, it was mid-combo and not mid-parry stun, because it's super annoying when he becomes stun immune, like halfway through a parry stun, and then he immediately counters you when you're trying to undo attack. So lucked out a bit on that one. All right, so we've turned off his regen with the heal block, which is really making this fight a lot easier. And I think this special one ends up finishing off. Easy peasy. All right, one more fight for the war. This again, I don't think I was scheduled to take this, but I already had the energy, and I was still boosted, so I might as well. Any robot on this node is an automatic Nebula fight, so I healed her up a little bit. When we have 5 or more amp charges, we're also shutting off Omega Sentinel's ability to generate armor buffs. It's not going to shut off the glancing, as you can see, because she already has 1 armor up, but it does shut off her armor ups from doing 2 attacks in a row, and thus it shuts off her auto block as well, which is nice. So again, I'm just trying to do standard Nebula play here, build up to 20. I don't need to, I just need to survive this fight. So here we go. Parry, couple hits, launch that special 2, double the shocks, and there we go. 40,000 damage per second, guys, from those shocks. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, we ended up finishing the season on a positive note. 5 kills, 0 deaths, and another W to end the season. We actually won the 3 wars that didn't count for season rewards. We actually won 2. So our overall record this season was 11-1. Very, very proud of the guys. Nice job to everybody. And I hope you, the viewer, had a great war season as well. So I'll probably do a season recap going through rewards and whatnot. And I also want to talk about why I kind of went back into war this season, because there's a few reasons that I want to discuss. So look forward to that as well. If you guys enjoyed this, please remember to hit like and hit sub so you can get access to all the forthcoming videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time.